Alrighty, you guys, welcome back to another little video where today we are going to be taking a look at a little bit of an interesting motherboard. So, I guess I shouldn't really say that, because it's not actually super interesting. Today what we're going to be looking at is the Machinist x58 Pro. Let's get into it. Alrighty guys, and I just wanted to say a very big thank you for everybody who has subscribed recently. The channel is up to 133 subs, which is just absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Alright, so let's talk about the x58 Pro from Machinist. Now the Machinist boards have kind of been, in my opinion, flying under the radar. They do have some good designs, but they seem to be a little bit cheaper than the Jingsha or the Huanin boards. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for. Well, I had been asked about this Machinist board a couple of times now, being the x58 Pro. It is a green and black one. And I hadn't picked one up yet. But now I decided I thought that it was probably a good time to actually experiment with it to see what it's actually capable of. And I am pleasantly unimpressed. I guess I shouldn't say unimpressed. I had certain expectations for this motherboard, and those expectations were met perfectly. When going into the BIOS of this motherboard, I was not able to find anything to allow me to overclock properly. I dropped in my W3680, tried to adjust the multiplier, and it would not take the same way that it wouldn't on the x58 Deluxe. So then I opened up Intel's Extreme Tuning utility and managed to overclock it to the exact same level that I was able to on the Huanin x58 Deluxe. And that's kind of where I stand with it. The motherboard is essentially a dual-channel version of the x58 Deluxe, and it's surprisingly unsurprising. There's really nothing more to it than the fact that it is just a basic x58 motherboard. Now, you can take your W3680 and use something like desktop memory, or you could go for an x5680, which then you could use ECC registered memory. And before people start asking me in the comments section, if you want to use ECC registered memory on x58, you've got to use either an x55 or x56 series CPU. And if you don't care about ECC registered memory, then you can use a W35 or a W36 series CPU. So with that being said, the next person who asks, wait, can't I use my W3680 and 64 gigs of ECC registered memory? No, you cannot. Moving on. Okay, so all jokes aside, this motherboard isn't bad. When messing around with overclocks in Intel's Extreme Tuning utility, I was able to get the same exact overclock that I was able to achieve on my Dell Precision as well as my Huanin Deluxe. So that's kind of where I stand with this thing. It is, like I said, surprisingly unsurprising. There's not really anything uber special about it. It simply is what it is. And it is a basic Intel x58 motherboard. Well, it's not x58 technically. The chipset is actually Intel's 5520 chipset. So it is from a dual socket motherboard originally, but it has been soldered onto a, well, gaming motherboard. So essentially with the conclusion of this video and the conclusion of this motherboard is, well, it's not bad. You can drop in a x5680, 32 gigs of ECC registered if you'd like, and a decent graphics card, and you'd have a relatively good gaming computer. The fact of the matter is, though, x58 is starting to age a little bit. Well, obviously, it is now 11 years old. And, well, I guess the oldest x58 CPUs, like the i7-920, are, I believe, 12 years old now? Or coming up on 12 years old. Either way, it's getting to be a little bit long in the tooth. But that does not change the fact that x58 is still a wonderful platform for budget gaming systems and budget PCs. So if you're interested in picking up one of these motherboards, honestly, I would say go for it. Yes, you will be seeing a slight performance hit, but here's the biggest kicker. You might be seeing a slight performance hit due to the dual channel memory instead of the triple channel memory, but here's the kicker. If you're comparing the x58 Pro versus the x58 Deluxe, yes, the x58 Deluxe will have triple channel memory, while the Pro will only have dual channel memory. But if you buy a faster CPU with the money that you saved from buying the dual channel motherboard, you will probably still get better performance than if you had a slower motherboard with triple channel, or a slower CPU with the triple channel memory. And honestly, you really don't need to worry all too much about memory bandwidth as long as you've got decent memory bandwidth. Going up to triple channel is not going to be groundbreaking, earth-shatteringly better performance. So, yet again, take that as you will. It is kind of not here, not there, not anywhere. You guys know what I mean. But with that being said, I think I'm going to wrap up this video and start working on the next video, which is actually going to be a little bit more fun, and things are going to get a little bit wet and wild in the x58 world. So, have a good one. I'll see you guys later. Peace.